Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Yay, I'm happy because we're only doing one tonight.
I know we were going to do two, and then we're like, oh, no, I will drive back early from San Francisco. I will do it.
Thank God. How are you?
I'm all right. So you were in New York for 1 million days.
I had the most amazing week. Remember how you are, by the way, are downing water like I imagined you once used to down beers.
I have a drinking problem. I think that we all know that. I have 4 waters in
Threw
front of
your
me.
head back and shook your hair, and wow, that was pretty amazing. So I had big plans to just hunker down and write.
Oh, that's right. You were gonna finish your book. No, you were gonna finish it.
I didn't
You were
do
gonna make a dent.
single fucking.
Oh no.
No.
Oh fuck.
I
All
threw
right.
a temper tantrum, and I said, I don't
nice.
want to. And I did some other fun stuff. I just did spots. I fixed some things in my apartment, and then I just sat like a little contented hen and looked out my window. It
Into
felt
that park?
good. It was just
And
alone.
just people watched alone?
And then on Thanksgiving,
Oh, that's right, because it was Thanksgiving.
it was Thanksgiving, and I had a couple offers,
Oh,
but it was
friend-giving.
families, and I'm like, I don't want to be around anybody.
Right.
Especially not other people's kids, right?
Right.
I just want to be untethered. I don't want to be connected to humanity. And so I walked from 145th to 12th Street.
What?
It was
very Hamilton of you.
empty. Yeah,
Oh, I bet.
empty.
On Thursday. That's
yeah,
what
it was
you did.
cold. It was kind of chilly. I found, thank Christ, I found a bathroom at Dinosaur Park, which is like in the mid 90s.
Oh, wow.
And then, because I was like, oh crap, I gotta go, and everything's closed and
Right,
stuff.
because it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so I walked the High Line, and I haven't been on the High Line in like 2 years, and they added all this stuff, and all these trees are like 10 feet taller,
Right.
and it's just like so beautiful. And then I get off the High Line, and my feet are killing me, and I'm tired, and I'm hungry, and this place called Sugar Factory is open,
Yeah.
and they had Thanksgiving dinner, and I sat by myself, and I had steak and half a bottle of
Yes.
wine, and it was fucking awesome.
Laurie Kilmartin wins Thanksgiving. That's what that is. It's
No Trump fights, no
people at all.
smug Republican cousins.
not even any sort of sad sack despairing the end of the world.
I loved it. I
Yeah.
mean, I can see how in another place being alone on Thanksgiving is the loneliest day in the world, but I treasured it.
You were ready for it.
Yes.
You were like, this particular
It
one
was
is going to be
great.
solo time.
It was great.
Well done.
Did Keith and the Girl?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And Hemda
was not there.
Was not there,
but I
'cause
think she's coming back soon.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
she's
And-
had success.
Okay, and find her GoFundMe and
Yeah.
and figure out how to help her pay for the giant tumor that they took out of her.
Yeah. And then I did the Stern wrap-up show.
How was that?
It was interesting. I mean, they really stay on point. I mean, they really want to talk about Howard Stern.
Oh, really? So what do you
it's-
do? Do you listen to the Howard Stern show and then talk
Yeah,
about
they
it? Was
gave
like
me some
after
segments
Howard?
to listen to,
Okay.
and then we ended up not talking about them at all because they were rerun segments anyway because
Okay.
they were off that week. So I think the fact that they were in was sort of a rare thing.
Okay.
the after Stern,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was fun. They were all nice, you know, and I got a few plugs in. But it was very, how does it relate to the show? Whatever story you're saying, it needs to relate to.
Right. How does
Howard
this affect
Stern.
Howard?
Yeah, it was, but it was good. I admired the discipline of all involved.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and they were very nice and stuff.
That's great. I went up for the first time in almost a week last night.
Oh,
How
first
weird
of
was
all,
that?
Oh, yeah, that's
It was weird.
not a good feeling.
It wasn't because it got to this point where I was kind of stagnated, where I was like, well, I don't even want to go now. And I'm
You
like,
want to
what
go
do
up on stage?
Yeah, for the
Yes.
first time in a million years.
Right.
Because I was like, because I don't have any. I have issues. I got all kinds of fucking issues. When this goes up, I'm at Doc's Lab on Monday night.
Oh, that's such a great room in San
it's
Francisco.
a beautiful room.
It's
beautiful
great.
room
great.
in San Francisco. So, like, I'm driving to I'm doing Oakland on Saturday, Santa Cruz on Sunday, Doc's Lab on Monday, somewhere else on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Are you going to
whatever.
Mill Valley on Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Mill Valley. Oh, right. Hi, the thing that's paying for the rest of the trip.
Yeah, it's a great
And,
run. It's a fun. You're going to have some fun shows.
It'll be really fun, and most of them I'm doing 45s to run the
Yeah.
to run the new album, but I have to find a new order, and I was really worried about my dad's stuff, and then everybody was weirdly encouraging. They were like, Bamford hilariously said to me, just think, if you can figure out a way to love the comparisons between your dad and Trump, it'll heal so many things. And I was like, I can't fucking fix that right now. I'm in the middle of, I'm recording in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, what I tried last night in front of 9 people at the Virgil, I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think that I've tried it
cool.
once, and let's just do that. That seems to be the way. I think
That's plenty of audition time for that thing.
Tonight I
For it
tried
to
it
go on a CD that'll
17
stand this
people at
test
the
of time.
Barclay over in South Pass.
Yeah.
So it didn't go as well, but I think that Virgil thing's really nailed it. I think that's how. And of course, I didn't tape either of them.
Well,
and
I love the thing where you only remember what the good crowd did. You completely ignore the bad crowd. That was an anomaly. I think those 9 people at the Virgil, they really have their finger on the pulse.
exactly. That's it exactly. Because I didn't want to talk, it was the third time I'd even mentioned what I call the elephant in the room, the GOP elephant. Huh?
Yeah.
Come on. I'm here all week, you guys.
Oh, no.
I know. But I've been just sort of working on this piece about and it has potentials. It has legs, and it's got whatever. I'm going to work on it next
Yeah.
week. But I have to rewrite my set list. I had finally gotten a set list that I liked.
Yeah.
And then the election happened, and I got panicked about other things. And then the other thing is tomorrow night I'm doing. This will have already happened, but I'm doing the Ari Shafir.
Oh, you're
This
doing
is
the
not-
storytelling thing?
Yeah, but I'm just doing the
No, so
comedy
I didn't know
store.
you'd been in an orgy before.
Well, that's actually.
Oh my God! What?
Just one, but I'm not telling that story.
Boo! Boo! Someone
saving
forward to
it for Kevin
Sorry.
Allison.
She's telling the wrong story. You're saving that for who?
Kevin Allison, the Risk Show. You know the
Oh
Risk
yeah,
Show.
yeah.
It's. I was actually going to actually tell a story that I told on Risk, which is a sex story but I looked at the TV show.
Yeah.
To see what people were doing.
Yeah.
And because I was like, well, how long is the story? And he had just texted me and he said anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes.
What?
And I was like, first of all, too long.
No.
Yeah, give me. I would like
I mean,
it to be
for me, no. Other people, yes.
Oh, like you don't want to tell a story that's 15 minutes long? Or?
No.
Right. It has to be a real story if it's going to be fucking 15
And
minutes.
that's, you got to work that shit out, and you got to make up a lot of lies. Come on, there's no 15 minute, no fucking 15-minute stories true. They're all 2 minutes long plus a Word doc. Give me a break.
I have a 15-minute story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but it's already. I put it on Bandcamp, but I'll rework it, and if he likes it, I don't know. I mean, it was a choice. There's. I literally have only had like a handful of times when I was almost killed.
Yeah.
So we really, those are the stories you want to tell in a weird storytelling
Yeah,
story,
right.
So this one I wasn't even killed. I'm just horribly pathetic in this story that I will tell probably tomorrow. I don't know if there's notes. I know there wasn't, but Brian Regan did. This is not happening, and he told
did?
yeah. And it wasn't anything sexual or dirty, as you can well imagine.
Yeah.
He just told a story.
Interesting.
I know. He told a story about how he was the campaign manager for the Stroh's Beer Dog. It was one of his early jobs.
Oh, my God.
When the Stroh's Beer Dog ran for president against the Budweiser dog. Remember
He was
the
the
Budweiser?
campaign, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good thing our politics aren't that ridiculous anymore.
And then, but so I watched Maria's,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't do anything. she talked about the psych ward.
Yeah.
And that was,
Dude,
a little edgy.
You got the psych ward going for you.
You got that in your hip pocket.
You got two 15-minute stories.
Exactly. You got to go. Just got to go with what you got.
Yeah.
And she recommended I just pull, just 10 minutes still to 11 minutes off of my last album and do sort of the sexual healing thing. And I may do it. I mean, I'm going to show him the fact that I'm going to have notes.
Yeah.
And he's going to want no part of it. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, well, I guess I'll just do that chunk.
Okay.
I'll do that 12-minute chunk. So I don't know what but I was going to work on all of this shit today.
Yeah.
And this day can fuck itself.
What
Because
happened?
we had salespeople at my house. I
Why?
was raised by salespeople.
Yes.
I hate salespeople.
Right.
The pitch, if I see a 3-ring binder with a lot of pieces of paper in
Was that a
plastic
contractor?
sleeves, it was, no, this woman was from Sears and she wanted us to get a new furnace and air conditioner. And there was something about our property tax and there was it's a quality problem, but she was in our house for 4 hours.
No.
And Andy loves a salesperson.
Oh, my God.
And so genuinely, she got there. I lasted 20 minutes and I knew I was going to kick her out of the house and be rude. And so I said, hey, I got to take a lap. And so I got in my car. And she said, well, I'm going to need you if we're going to pick something. And I was like, okay, I'll be around. And I went out the side door, went out the side gate, went around to the front, got into my car and drove off. And then I felt bad. So I went to a coffee shop and I texted Andy. I said, I will come back if you need me. And then all I got back from him was, ha, ha, ha. And then I went back an hour and a half later thinking she'd be gone. She was still there. So I lasted another hour, and then I just looked at him, and he winked at me, and I said, yeah, I'm gone.
Wait, did you guys buy anything?
I don't know. I left.
What? Oh.
I left.
And you went
and
straight to this podcast.
And no, I didn't. I went to the Olympic Spa, and I had a soak and a massage.
Oh,
Yes.
is that a Korean spa?
Yeah, it's a Korean spa over
I
on
want
Olympic.
to do that.
Yeah, pad, noodly, noodly, noodly. And women of all shapes and sizes. There's nothing like watching a 65-year-old Korean lady scrub herself and going, oh, well, we all look like crazy people.
Yes. I do. My fascia blasting.
How's that coming
Constantly.
along?
Good.
Are you full of bruises?
No, I'm getting better. I'm able to absorb it without bruising it.
Oh,
that
nice.
much. Yeah.
And you
But
feel like it's making
there's-
some difference?
I will show you before and after on my shoulders, and you're going to buy one. It's
I bought one.
Oh, you did?
And I have already put it in the Goodwill pile.
no.
I know, but I don't want to do it myself. I want somebody. I want to.
I'll go to my lady.
Oh, your lady does it?
Or don't you have a husband?
Oh, to fascia blast me?
Yes.
That seems like a personal.
Wait, you heat up. He squirts oil on you and then he rubs you. That doesn't appeal to a married lady.
Well, it appeals to a married lady who has her own washer dryer. I guess it's that's just a lot of bullshit.
Wait, you guys don't have a washer dryer?
We do have a washer dryer.
Okay,
I
because
just-
that
it just
Sears
sounds like a-
lady, her priorities are off. Get the
Exactly.
fucking washer dryer first.
I have to tell you this too: is that Andy, perfectly nice man when I met him, this day now telling me dick jokes, and so 15 years later, or however long we've been together, super romantic over here. So I wake up. This is my favorite story. There's no way to do it on stage, so all I can do is tell you the story. I wake up and he says, "How did you sleep?" And I said, "Well, I think I have a couple of knots in my neck." And he said, "You want me to rub one out?"
Oh my God.
And there was a pause, and I looked up from the bed, and he goes, I don't understand how me
No.
masturbating would help your neck, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
No.
He didn't realize he had said it like that until
Part of
I
him
looked
knew.
up.
No, part of him knew.
I don't know that.
No.
30 years in, I think that he will set it up a dick joke like that. But I think this was just, it was integral.
So sometimes it's good to take a week off.
Yeah, it was okay. And I did a set last night. I did one tonight. And then, because previously I just did long sets in Denver.
Yeah.
And then I sat around with my in-laws and Andy's cousins for Thanksgiving. We're all on the same side of the political fence.
Yeah.
And he thought it was going to be full of despair. Luckily, it was not. So I put in Muppet Christmas Carol,
Yeah.
I just kept plugging movies into I'm like, we're not talking. We're watching fun movies. I put in the first Christmas movie of the year, Deadpool. So
You know what I found in New York? I have stacks of VHS tapes. Just I don't know what.
Buttons of Steel.
Well, okay. I found they're all mostly comedy tapes, but I found one called Thanksgiving 1994.
Oh.
And
Really?
it's an hour and a half of like fucking memories. A lot of stuff. A lot of my dad. Just like and my mom laughing, smiling.
Oh,
them
when
having
she
a
had
good
joy?
time together. Yeah,
Oh.
when she had joy.
Did you bring that home?
Yeah,
Did you bring that- good.
And so I don't have a VH. Well, I do. So I
You have a VHS in New
here,
York, but
here in
Oh,
Los
here.
Angeles.
Okay.
So I put it in, and I was fingers crossed. And so, like, there'll be like 10 minutes of the family. I mean, this is
Yeah.
like we have the Thanksgiving that I usually get to. There's like at least 40 cousins there.
Okay.
It's gigantic. And so it gets to be very overwhelming. So I just would put the camera around. Father Tom, we used to have this Irish priest there, Father Tom, who was like a cousin of my cousin's, and my dad, anyway, it was just really awesome to see. And I realized, like, it's such a pain in the ass to record back then. Like,
Right.
you had to put a light on the camcorder and the people yelling, turn that fucking thing off. It's not like holding up an iPhone, which is so easy. Like,
Right.
all the video I have of my dad is when he's like dying,
Yes.
and it's depressing. And to find it where he's like 55 and he's like in great, however old
Right.
he was, 60 or something, but in great health and totally himself and great spirits. His voice isn't sick. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah. It
I
was
remember
really-
that guy. Yeah.
Yes. It was really
That's-
cool.
That is great. So I watched your special.
Yes, I sent you a link, and
Yeah.
it's not all. There's still a couple tweaks, but yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. I don't know. But the thing is, because I loved it. I genuinely, because what you were telling me is what the advice that you had gotten
Yeah.
was that sort of, because it bookends.
Yeah.
It bookends with documentary stuff.
Yeah.
And
With Conan and Patton
Patton,
O'Brien,
Andy Kindler, and Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswald, and Annie Kindler talking.
And then your
yeah.
your sister. You're
Yes.
good looking people, by the way. You
We
and
had a
your
lot of
sister.
makeup on.
Nice work. Professionals were involved.
I'll give you her name. Yeah, my mom too. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody looked good.
Yeah.
And but it was interesting because I would say this and first of all, let's rework some of the jokes. Is that okay? Can we just can I just do some looping? No. I totally got you. Look at the look on your face.
Oh my God.
You don't mind if I rewrite a couple of the bits, do you? Just something.
Dude, I'm vulnerable right now, and this is how you're treating me? This is how you act?
I just
We're
saw
a horrible friend.
16 minutes of you brutalizing your family, brutalizing each other. Oh my God, that documentary, that first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We were like, holy shit.
Really?
Yeah.
How's it come on? What's it seem like to you?
At one point, you make fun of your mom.
Yeah.
And she laughs, but your dad laughs. Like he's literally 2 weeks from dying.
Oh, when my dad.
And- and your dad's
that
like,
stuff.
"Ha."
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I see their family dynamic. It's kind of brutal at the Kilmartins house.
Pile on Joanne.
Exactly. So it can't possibly, that could not have hurt. Anyway,
Oh, is that how
What I
you
just-
is
that's
that
how
how
I-
you're going to sleep at night?
that's how I'm going to sleep at night. I'm also going to get one of those
interesting.
machines that sound like the wind. Anyway, so I would say this because what your PR lady said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to tell anybody.
Well, I wasn't going to say it was her that said it, but someone, yeah.
Well,
okay.
so her name is Elizabeth. No, I don't. Her address. No, whatever. But it was there was some talk about how the beginning was
It was front loaded with that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like 12 minutes of that, of getting to know us and
Yeah.
know that I was tweeting during my dad's.
yes,
well,
you get
my
sort of
dad
the
was dying.
backstory. And
Yes,
then,
the backstory.
And I like the tweets that are read, the tweets that come up on the screen.
Yeah.
That's all great.
Yeah.
But there was some talk, and it wasn't just her. I mean, whoever gave you the input that's thought about breaking up the set and,
Yeah.
and putting some of that stuff in the middle of it. And maybe because I wanted to see the whole set.
That's what someone else told me too. So I'm okay with.
I love
and then
the
I
whole
just
set.
realized people are going to have different opinions, and I don't have to panic and think
No.
it's wrong because somebody.
No,
But I
if
did- I
One
was.
person. Well, because it's like reading reviews at YouTube. You know, you
Right.
get 180 great ones, and one is like, "You're short and you bother me."
Yeah.
And then you beat yourself up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I loved it, and I loved all the jokes that I hadn't heard before.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
Oh,
they were
thanks.
great. Yeah, they were. It's going to be great. It's going to be really great.
Thank you. Thanks for watching it. I know how much you hate comedy, and I hated asking you to.
Well, because I have said on this show that sending me a link to a tape is not my idea of a good time, but that is something else. That is like it was somebody else sent me a link to their special that they had put together.
Yeah,
and it was. And I knew that you had been told by CISO to make it interesting, right?
Yeah.
To bring it up and make it add another dimension to it.
They wanted more than just the stand-up,
right? They wanted another dimension,
yes,
and that's
yes.
fine. It's yeah. So, but I think it was fascinating, and it was great, and I
cool.
like the stuff
Thank
at
you.
the end a lot. I like that it was. That it was, it was great comics, and it was, talking about, making it popular and all those things. And and I like the clip from Claremont with
Claremont.
the one where the woman is telling you that her mom died in hospice. And...
that's from Laughs in Tucson.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was all right.
Where'd you think it was from?
Claremont.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Flaps. I
Yeah.
thought it was from Flappers. Flaps. I'm calling it Flaps, Kyle. The Flaps and Claire. The Claire Flaps. Yep. Okay, so there's a new game store in my neighborhood. I know everyone wants to know. New board game store over on Hazeltine and Burbank. Anyway, next to my breakfast place, and went in, and the
Why
guy
are you
working
giving
there.
people cross streets of where you live? They already know you don't have a working heater.
Come on over, bring fire. And so we go in there, and Andy wants, because it's a board game, it's a place to play test his games, right? Mm-hmm. Pen and paper ones,
Yeah.
And the prototypes. So whatever. But we walk in, Andy introduces himself. The guy says, "It's nice to meet you," and then he turns to me and goes, "You're Jackie Cation, right? I'm a comic." And I was like, "Of course you are."
He's a comic.
He's a comic.
Right,
of course
right.
the guy who works at the board game store is a comic.
Yeah.
And at one point, he said that he's actually having a hard time going up around because he had to give up on Bringers because he's like, I don't know why Martin thinks I know how many people he thinks I know and how much
shows
money
are
they
good.
have. Well, they are if you don't have to bring 12
I know.
people.
We live in. We don't realize we live in rarefied. We're
yeah.
breathing rarefied air.
Very
where we
much
just get
so.
to be on the professional on the Bringer show.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Somebody else has to bring 6 people, and then we just kind of ride that coattail.
reminds me. This was hilarious. I'm not going to name the person's name or the show, but apparently we had worked together. Or I had been the pro on a Bringer show before, right?
Sure.
So and I don't think she listens to the podcast.
Okay.
So I don't feel like she's going to go, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed." She emailed me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a show here and I need to bring 15 friends and I wanted to invite you and your family to come see me perform at Bringer."
And you're like, nope. I can't
was
even get
like,
my family
wait.
to come see me.
Yeah.
Much less you.
And then my mom,
Right.
my
It's just
mom's gonna
me and my mom
go to a
and
Bringer
my
and
son.
my dad's ashes of my son.
Is it all ages? Is that what I'm hearing?
But it's a show I'm frequently on. It was
Right.
just it was very, I don't know, I felt it was very a sweet intention of
Yes,
somebody who's
of course.
very new.
Right. Well,
to
that's
stand-up.
the whole thing. And this guy, Brian Jacob something. So sorry, buddy. Anyway, because
Wait, should you say his name?
I fucked it up, so he's safe.
Okay.
And but it doesn't matter because what I was gonna give him credit for the fact I'm giving you half credit, Brian. It turns out for the fact that he compared because I was telling him that I was doing some door deal.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks or whatever. And I said, I don't like doing door deals because I like to know that I'm going to make a minimum amount of money and I don't know that I can fill the room. And he said, what are door deals like professional bringers? And I was like, kind of. Until you hit that plateau where everyone's coming, that's a professional bringer because it's almost pay to play.
Yeah, basically.
So it's, yeah.
Let's see. I was in New York. I did a ton of shows, and I thankfully remembered my lesson from my previous trip, which was I need to talk to the crowd a little bit. I don't have
right.
to jump right into jokes.
That's
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
And so that helped a lot.
Do you
know?
think that you said that was a good way to play New York audiences? Just
even
kind
if
of
it's just a
interact.
second or and a half, just like a hey,
Acknowledge 'em?
just an acknowledgement to somebody or anything. You know, it doesn't have to be a ton. You don't have to wait. you don't have to waste time, just a
Yeah.
little bit, kind of like
Right, because you only have 12
acknowledge
minutes.
the
Chop,
situation,
chop.
whatever the situation is, or is it late? Are there no people here or whatever, in a way that perhaps maybe the previous 15 comics haven't already. But
do what you
just
can.
so they seem to be like, I think here the audiences here are such comedy fans that
Mm-hmm.
you can actually go into jokes immediately and they're kind of on board right away. Do you find
Yeah.
that? I mean, not all the shows in LA, but a lot of them.
Like even tonight and last night, I mean, I started out with sort of a, and again, this is a rarefied air that I'm breathing because because it's people are really nice to me at this point. They're
Yeah.
like, they expect me to do well.
Yeah,
And so they
yeah.
cut me the slack that I'm
right,
going to
right.
do well. Even when I open with a brand new joke. Like today I was talking about tonight, nobody cared. It turns out didn't get a lot of laughs because there was no joke there. Is I just opened up that I had because I was at the Barclay over in South Pass and I ordered a club sandwich. That's
Okay.
the whole story. It's a great one.
Does
Should
Ari
I
know
tell it
about
again?
that one? Yeah, let's let him know.
It's 15 minutes, Ari. I ordered a club sandwich forgetting that I don't like lunch meat. Hey, do you want to talk about Applegate?
If I see the word apple in my fucking feed one more time, what did you people do to me this week? Every time I look at my mentions, there's apples, people recommending grainy brands of tasteless apples to me.
I can't breathe.
Disgusting. Slamming my apple choice.
Well,
I've
eventually,
never encountered such hostility. Not even by a Bernie Bros.
this kind of trolling will drive you off Twitter. I have to say that eventually I was like, Jesus Christ, I just was surprised. I didn't hate you because of it.
Oh my God.
I was like, eat whatever fucking apple you want.
And plus, they're defending these grainy, like they
Oh no,
they fall apart in your mouth like
no, you don't have a leg to stand on with Red Delicious. Fuck off. Red Delicious are disgusting.
You know what? You
get
guys
to
are
like
both
them.
attacking me tonight.
Yes, we are. But the whole ad, the fact that it blew out of proportion, cracked me up. So I was like, Jesus Christ, are they still talking
It made
about
me
apples?
hate this podcast. Well, everything makes me hate this podcast.
I was talking to Andy today, and I said, Red Delicious are they're genetically modified, and he goes, No, they aren't. And I said, No, those are the ones where they hybrid them and they're made. And he goes, No, I don't know what you think happened in science, but it wasn't that. And I was like, I'm going to Wikipedia. And so I looked up Red Delicious. He is, of course,
my
correct.
God.
And I just like, even I care about this? No,
Stop.
I don't. Right. Yeah, keep moving. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, so anyway, I didn't really come up with much new material in New York, but I did change the DNA a little bit of a few jokes.
That's great.
Just
Did you tighten them up, or?
Yeah, tighten them up, and there's like this. I think I've complained about this 5 million times, but this
One more
joke where I have
time.
like a nice big fat laugh at the end, so
Yeah.
I can have a long time without a laugh, even though I don't want that. And I've been like, why, and confident that I will end huge,
Yes.
right? But it's like I still want laughs around the
Right.
up, on the way,
It's a different comic who can sit in that silence, man. It is not me.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm supposed to get laughs. I'm a comic.
Right, but think about like the way Tig does it or Stuart Lee. I mean, they celebrate the silence, and then there's a big explosion of laughter.
Yes, but I think they're doing it more on purpose, whereas I
They
was
are.
just missing joke opportunities.
Okay, fair
No?
enough. Yes,
Okay.
I see what's happening.
Anyway, I felt like I had something that went from zero. In terms of information, I'm overloading the audience with, so they have to take in and then,
Oh, they have to put it together
yes,
before you
here's
can
the
get
thing,
to
like
the thing.
a monologue joke, you give them a little bit of information, and then you immediately get to the punchline. So they don't have much to sort through.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom. So that's kind of like if you have a joke or a premise that's got a lot going on in it, then they almost need a second to gulp it down. you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to break up this premise into smaller things. So there's,
Oh, so you could
it's
punch
a
it
little
up.
bit information than a joke. And, you know, just as
Yeah.
we climb up the ladder, it's, there's a
'cause
few more laughs on
right,
the way.
if you can deconstruct it, then you can put more jokes
Yes,
in it.
yes, yes. So,
More
so anyway,
punches.
I was doing that, and then on a couple,
And
then
it
I-
worked?
Yeah,
Nice.
yes. So you know, some work was done. I felt like I was I just didn't want to do anything on a schedule when I was in New York. I felt like, you know, I'm on such a schedule here, and
Yep.
and everything's timed out, and I didn't have anyone telling me I had to do anything. All I had to do was show up and do stand up, and that's all I wanted to do. You know,
Yeah, that's awesome.
so it was fun.
What I did was I've actually over the last 2 weeks, it's been great. I couldn't figure out a way to get into this big chunk that I've been working on for probably 3 years about Andy designing games and working with game mechanics in real life in different
Yeah.
parts of it. And I finally came up with a thing that I can use, and it's going to work. I mean, it's a little sloppy.
Yeah.
But I think I can work on it this upcoming week at all these different sets, and if I can get that chunk tight, and then then I can just drop that in, because it brightens up this whole area
Yeah.
of, because there's 4 or 5 different sort of married bits, and I tend to want to go to the old stuff, just to set them up, make sure that they're laughing.
Yes, yeah.
And then try the new thing. But this, I think, can be strong enough to just at least bring it in and get laughs, and then
good.
continue to stuff that has bigger
It's always
laughs.
such a treat when you don't have to go to your old stuff.
I know it. And it's a, yeah, and it's a, yeah.
Yeah, and there's like this concept. Okay, so like I had jokes about my son that I did on Conan about his skin color being darker than mine, and then I thought, oh, those are kind of easy, but I still want to go after this topic because I think it's interesting, you know?
Right.
So then I had the one that I've talked about on here where he's darker than me. He likes rape jokes.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then I changed it to abortion.
Yes.
It's working wildly better. But then I had this other version a long time ago where it was I forgot what it was, but it was like a bee joke, and then I just sort of, I don't know, it just flipped it around a little bit, just kind of moved the words around a little bit, and now it's like solid.
Yeah.
It's weird how, I mean, you can be obsessed with a topic for a long time and then hit it one way and then take a couple years off and then go, I want this one again.
Yeah. Right.
But I
and
want it in
need to
another
work.
way. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then, just trying to flip it on its head to make it work. I have tried to fit so many square pegs into a round hole.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, it isn't working. And then you put it away, and then you look at an old notebook, and you're like, I see what I should have been doing.
Yeah.
Or I will try that again until and then maybe you can turn it into something real. Kara Clink last night. Kara Clink did an amazing miscarriage joke last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so funny. I don't know if we done comic. Are we at 30? Can we do comic of the week? Oh, good.
Is that when we normally do?
We do comic of the week right around 30. Lori.
Okay.
That's what I like to do.
It's Jessica Curson.
Yay, Jessica Curson, who's hilarious.
Hilarious. I've known her forever.
Yeah.
She's a New York comic, and I ran into her, of course. And my first night back, I was on at the 6:30 show at the Stand, and in the front row, stage left, there's like a circle of women, and they just start, paying their bill very loudly. She's got cash out, and she's flipping it like yes,
You're
really
like,
loudly,
Jesus.
and the room's not a huge room, so
No.
other people are noticing. So now I've lost, a significant portion of the crowd, and they're right up front, which
Yeah.
it's one thing if it's happening in the back. At least I can focus. Like, I have to be able to focus too. I'm not a fucking machine. Okay, if you're
Right, you're
texting or
alive.
you're doing shit, I'm distracted and I can't pay attention to my jokes.
Yeah.
Then if I'm telling them I'm on autopilot and I'm not doing a good job, it's not the show anyone came for.
That's it.
So then I started talking to her and asking her to hurry up and trying to be,
Funny about it, but also
but
real.
getting this, you just tell your jokes. And then I want to throw a book at her head, right?
You're like,
and then the club comes to get her and her friends, and the friends wanted to stay, but the girl wants them to leave, and it's like I'm like, I have fucking 15 minutes,
Right.
And this is taking 6 minutes.
You're eating up the time when
And
I
then
was going to work on that.
Jessica comes in, and Jessica's, I think she's next or next, but she just walks up and she goes, "The whole table's got to go." And they laughed. They all laughed.
Yeah, just get out.
Oh, it was
We have-
great.
we need a
She's
clean
so
slate.
funny.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so check her out, Jessica Kirson, Kirson.
That's it. She's a powerhouse on stage.
Yes.
As
Yeah,
every-
and
I think
super nice,
everyone.
and just a nice and
good egg.
solid. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Good people. So
Kara Klink has a great miscarriage joke.
yeah, the other two things. I have two other things
Yes.
to talk about. One, I got to do Denver, and it
Yes.
was exciting.
Yes.
And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I have a lot of Mail Road comic friends,
Right.
and we've all been trying to get into Denver
Right.
for 20 years,
Right.
And so it wasn't that they weren't supportive,
Oh.
but they were just jealous.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, don't hide it better. I just wanted them to. I was like, if I would be jealous of you too, but I would hide it better.
Yeah.
I would just
my
say,
God.
"Oh, that's amazing," and they did say that's amazing.
Is
but
it
there was
that
also
kind of
this
self-pitying-
pinched,
Yeah.
that fucking pinched look. It was like when somebody called. A mutual friend of ours. Should we do more writing of names? Everyone's
annoying. Why are we
furious.
doing
I don't know why we do that, but like.
Okay. Remind me. Okay. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, it's but the I know that it's, but I felt bad for like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know. I wonder how I could get them into either that club or Acme or this other club. And I'm like, don't try to book them because they're as screwed as you are.
Yeah.
There's 52 weeks in a year.
Yes.
And every club essentially has 50 weeks. That's all they've got. The other 2 weeks are usually some weird Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Or
New
hypnotist.
Year's. Right.
Yeah.
Or Valentine's.
Yeah.
It's some freak show week.
And there's so many headliners now.
There's
or
so
there's so
many-
many people that can draw like a headliner.
Right.
There's
Both
so
of
many
those,
people.
Yeah, there's so many comics and they all do the job, right?
Yeah.
And you only have 50 weeks, and if you've got 50 comics that did great last year and the rotation is 1 year,
Yeah.
we're all relatively screwed. And so it just, but I felt bad for like a second, and then I was like, no, do not feel bad. Just get over
No.
it. It's it'll be fine.
Okay, so when we were writing names down and stuff,
Yeah.
I felt like, I didn't explain properly what the laughing, the actual
Oh, laughing at their own joke thing?
'cause I think some of the people we were talking about were people that kind of that's part of their delivery a little bit, or it might be like a nervous.
Do you want to write that name
habit.
down? Who you're
No.
talking about?
But what I'm talking about, which that's just that's how they deliver stuff.
Right,
I'm
you're-
talking
you're not
about
talking
that
about-
deliberate thing where they pretend that they can't finish a joke because it's so hilarious, and then they get the audience laughing at the fact that they're breaking up.
Oh, those people, yeah.
Yes. That's what I
Okay.
meant.
You were talking about that extreme?
That kind of thing. Yes.
Oh, I was irritated at a much earlier level. I'm so sorry.
Well, that irritates me too, but I think that's just a habit. I don't think is an evil intention.
Okay.
But the comics that will do a 10-year-old joke, they do it the same way every night, where they start half of it and then they start cracking up, and then they get the audience to laugh at how they're cracking up.
Yeah.
And then they get to the punchline, which is usually weak and stupid, but because they've got the audience already laughing,
Yep.
they'll go with them on the punchline. That's who I hate. I am just annoyed by that other habit of
Right.
laughing a lot during jokes that are coming.
They're probably still on the road, but 25 years ago, it had to be 1992, 91. Who knows how long ago? Who does
Yeah.
math? I don't have that in my head. But it was a clown and
a real clown.
and they're a couple, and they have a very funny act. They're very funny for a clown and a clarinet player, and it works like a charm. And I was entertained. And the first night I was featuring for them,
Yeah.
they do this thing where the clown, he makes a mistake, and the clarinetist has to stop playing his wife because she's laughing too hard.
Oh.
And the first time I saw it, I laughed so hard myself.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this must be the first time this has ever happened.
Right.
And then I saw the next show, and I had rage. I had rage.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So I see what you're
Rage.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
So because I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have rage because it's not improv. Nobody's saying, "Hey, I'm not making this up in the moment."
Right.
But again, not for me. Possibly,
It's
it
a
might
device.
not be.
But I think it's the cheapest device. You
It's
know?
a device that makes me think, "Oh, I see what you're doing," and just. Stop
Yeah.
humping the stool. Stop doing
Well,
the thing.
he did kill himself. The stool
never
humper,
met-
he did kill himself.
And that was his signature bit, you guys. So
Killing himself?
killing himself while humping a stool. Speaking of something depressing, did you read Patton Oswalt's screed
that
about
was
the end
awesome.
of stand-up and the 1936 cabaret people? And
I don't know if I saw. Was it that one or was that the one that had? They were talking about how they're kind of jealous of being funny. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
I didn't think. I thought the premise was right, but I was just like, that's what I mean. It felt incredibly stand-up comic-y for us to go. You know what I'm really worried about? Stand-up. The Muslims were going to put them in camps, but stand-up. What the fuck?
Here's the thing.
Which is, I mean, you have to think about what's in front of you. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but
Did you read that? Yeah.
I did. I do. You know, like they always try to have like a conservative Daily Show, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Because it's not funny. And,
Right.
And laughter is involuntary, right? Unless you're unless you're a clown and a clarinet player,
Right. Unless you're playing some heartstring that
So you
is
could
not
even-
okay.
Yeah, you could even watch something that you politically agree with, and then I hear my mom chuckle, at Mark Levin or whatever the fuck, but it's not a laugh. It's not an involuntary laugh.
Yeah.
Like you want your jokes to be so tight your enemies will laugh at them, right?
Right.
And so,
Wow.
yeah.
Why aren't you writing that book?
So the conservative side or whatever it is now doesn't have that. They don't have a Daily Show. They don't have a Sam B. They don't have
They
comedy.
barely
really.
have PJ O'Rourke anymore.
Oh,
So-
that guy's the worst. So bad.
I thought he was funny back in the 80s. I mean, granted, it was
All right,
700
all right.
years ago, and I was
Yes.
11.
In the 80s.
But, yes.
And he was writing for Rolling Stone.
Yes.
And he didn't seem like
Yeah, he didn't seem like a tool bag.
Right.
He just.
he
yeah,
seemed cool for a little bit.
for a heartbeat.
All right.
Yeah, fair
So-
enough. But yeah, they don't. It's possibly because the right has become so mean that the jokes that they're writing that far out, you're just like, you just made fun of someone with cerebral palsy. Why is that funny?
Now hold on. I have a cerebral palsy joke.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it,
No.
what is it? What's it stem from? Do you do an accent? And
Punches up. Trust me.
it punches. I love this show.
I hate the news. I hate that we have to figure out which way we're punching on a joke.
Don't you want to punch forward? Have you ever thought about punching back? Punching. I like this great joke about Caligula, you guys, and I'm just gonna beat the shit out of that fuck. He fiddled while Rome burned. Was that Nero? God damn it! Kyle is correct. I've been.
You got Kyle.
I did get Kyle as ratted. It's Yep.
So let's see. So I am going through I showed you my special, and I showed one of the writers at Conan who does a lot of the remotes and stuff. And
Okay.
it's a great editor, and he gave me some very
Some
minor
feedback.
but great notes.
Okay.
And then Pardo watched it. He liked it.
Okay.
So
no
I mean,
notes from Pardo.
no.
Okay,
I
good.
don't think so. And then, so it's like, I think it's almost going to be done by next week.
What's
you
the
know?
tweaking? Well, it should be. It's coming out at the end of the month. I was like, when you said, "Hey, we're thinking of doing some editing," I was like, "What kind of editing?" is
Like
3 weeks?
in the credits, adding a few more pictures in the credits.
Okay.
because we have a lot of credits.
Yeah.
because I'm
and you just found that videotape.
I don't think we can use that. I gave it to them, but adding a little more pictures. We have to change the music.
Oh, the entry music?
The exit music.
Okay.
That jazz that plays at the end. So I just found some free jazz on
Free jazz. What's the stuff in the beginning?
Commons.
What's the plink plink?
They're going to
the
change
beginning?
that too. I think that was just some free
Just
filler.
free guitar.
Yeah, free
you know.
guitar.
Hey, it's because
Yeah.
I thought it was a little loud.
Yeah, someone else said that too.
Yeah.
I think they know that it was more
Like
like
my notes are incredibly minor that I thought
Yeah.
that and I'll give them to you. And it's like when you give somebody notes on, and you've been asked.
Yeah.
Right? Someone
Yes.
someone asks you for notes.
Yes, yeah.
That's when you give them to them.
Yeah.
And then and unsolicited advice can fuck itself. And so and I've done both. But and then they were going to be, like classic kind of stand-up notes where you're like, take it or leave it, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But here's my opinion, and hopefully it's not, anything intense.
yeah. Oh, did you have stand-up notes?
Yeah, I had a lot of. I just wanted you to rework. No, and I didn't have any stand-up notes. The stand-up was great.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole set was amazing. It had a great arc. It had it addressed it. It was meta where it needed to be meta.
Yeah.
It told stories of both the people around your father and your father. Mm-hmm. So it had. I mean.
And dick jokes.
And a nice pile of dick jokes occasionally. Pile of dicks. And it was like,
I have a Club Comics instinct.
Club Comics instinct to have there's 2 callbacks, I think. There's
a couple of callbacks, yeah.
It's peppered, nice broken up. Like every, I think 25 minutes, there's a nice dick joke. Hey, everybody's up. We all around? Did you hear that? That's great.
Well, that my worry was the talking head stuff would overshadow the stand-up,
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
Not at all.
That's
Not at all.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I think that they sat with all 3 of those guys, Conan and Patton and Andy, for 30 minutes.
Each.
Yeah, and so they had to, edit, get they had so much good stuff to pick
so they
from
had to
what they
tighten it up,
said.
yeah.
So I think that took a lot of time.
Yeah.
And my mom and my sister and me and my friend Cheryl too.
Yeah. Oh, there's no chyrons.
Yeah, they're coming.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
who people are and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's coming too.
Yeah, because I was watching it. I was like, who is that? I know most
It
of
was
these
me,
people.
Jackie. Oh my God! Put a
I
little
didn't
blush on. You don't know
recognize
who I
him. All of
am.
a sudden, you brought it up a notch. And so, yeah. And then, so, where are we at, Kyle?
Yeah, where are we? Oh, I can't believe we
46?
thought we were going to do 2 tonight.
Exactly. I had literally 3 bullet points.
Okay, so then my mom is my mom went home for Thanksgiving, right?
She flew?
Yeah, she flew. She went spent time with my
Hooray.
sister. Yeah,
Oh,
so
good.
she got out of her little yellow room, and her best friend's child died, who's 50. Okay,
Wow.
so she spent time with her best friend, and
Yeah.
that's all. It's all emotional stuff, right?
Right.
Then I show her the videotape that she's
Of Dad.
right?
Of your dad.
So then this morning, and she does this thing where. She started out. She used to do the. I got her to stop. I go, anytime you start a sentence that begins "you should," stop it. So she really got good about that. But
Oh, good.
she does this other one where she'll go, well, I guess you. Okay, and that's okay. So for example, if I go left, I guess you don't like going right anymore. And then I have to defend whatever thing I did. So
Right.
This happens all the time. If I don't eat rice, I guess you don't like rice anymore? No, I just didn't fucking eat rice right
Right,
now.
it's one meal.
Why do you
It's
have?
one-
Why are you spying on me and coming up with these inaccurate conclusions about who I am?
Not enough evidence. Not enough evidence.
Yes.
You have a hypothesis
Stop
based on
noticing
one thing.
everything. So I left my credit card at home, and my JetBlue credit card. I left it in Burbank, and when I went to New York, and then I get back, and she goes, "Well, you didn't ask about your credit card, so I guess you don't use that one very much anymore." And then I was like, God damn it, stop doing that. So then I thought I was kind of comedically saying, Mom, stop tracking me.
Yeah, yeah.
And she burst into tears.
Because it was too much.
It was too much. And then I
Yeah.
got home from work today and she said, I've been violently sobbing all day because of your comment to me this morning. Oh, is that's of all the things that happened on last week.
Right.
That was me talking about my credit card. That was really
That
the
was the
thing
last. How about that's the last straw?
No ability to go inside, doesn't believe in therapy, doesn't, has
Right.
no, doesn't look inside ever, doesn't do Artist Way pages or meditate.
Fool.
Fuck.
I know.
Exhausting.
Well, my brother Russ told me that he kicked our father out of the car the day after Thanksgiving. First of all, Russ, I love Russ and I love my dad, and but my father is oftentimes a piece of work, and he's a button pusher,
Yes.
so he can be hard to be with. And Russ spends as much time as he can with him, and we all know how to not respond to his button pushing because it's been a million years of ignoring his button pushing. My sister-in-law has only been around for 25 years. She doesn't have those kind of skills. So she's like, I can't deal with your dad right now. So whatever. So my brother goes out. And so my dad didn't spend Thanksgiving with my brother. Mm-hmm. He just, he hung out in his apartment and hung out with his buddies and whatever. Like he always does.
Yeah.
And he used to do this thing where he'd drive around and get as many free meals as possible.
Yeah.
Because he's a dick.
He would just go to like homeless shelters
Yeah.
or the Laugh Factory.
Yeah. Oh my God, that makes me feel better. If Jamie Masada was feeding my dad, I'd be like, oh, that's fine. There's $11 that I don't regret. He had Goodwill deliver a meal to him
Oh my God.
on Thanksgiving, and my brother said
He had
Dad,
Goodwill deliver it to him?
yeah, because he's old and he could do it, right? And he only did it because he could do it, right? It was something he could get for free, and it was
Right.
he was bored, and so Russ goes, Dad, people need that. I mean, it's not like someone's not getting a meal because of it, but you didn't need it, so what the hell? And my dad's like, and then my dad backpedals and goes, well, I took it to a guy in the building who actually didn't have a meal that day. So, and I was like, well, he was lying. That's a fucking lie. I don't believe that. And so Russ said, get out of the car, just in the middle of Milwaukee. They're driving
Wow.
around, and he's like, get a cab home, and it's to some
Does
extent,
Russ have kids?
yeah, he's two
Is
boys.
he a good grandpa to the kids? The grandkids?
My dad?
Yeah.
No. My father can't name he hasn't even met all of them.
Oh,
and he hasn't even
no.
met he's never met any of his great grandchildren.
Wow.
My dad had a lot of kids. He's like, no, that's good.
Wow. That's nuts.
I don't think he's ever enjoyed children. He likes people. So once they're people,
you can't
he's
sell
fine.
to children.
No,
right?
no, you can't.
You got to
but,
sell to their moms.
Man, the 3-ring binder of him when he was selling mortuaries when I was a kid, that was the flashback I had today when the woman from Sears showed up with her freaking 3-ring
Oh, my
binder
God.
of furnaces and air conditioners.
My mom's dad was a salesman too.
Yeah.
And she said one time he was talking to other salesmen. He had them in the house about feminine products. And he goes, Joe, come on down here and tell him how you like the pads. She was like 12.
God, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's generational violations of boundaries.
Right. It's just, remember that scene in 16 Candles where the grandma grabs Molly Ringwald's boobs?
No.
Yeah,
but I
she's
believe
just
you.
like, I understand you're getting boobies. And then
Oh, my God.
the hands go in and grab this kid's. She's 16.
Oh, right before I leave for New York. So I like to grow my son's hair out.
Yeah.
My son has great hair, right?
Yeah, he's got great hair.
And I want it out. I want to touch in doorways when he walks in. It's awesome. It's curly and brown and
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. And so I never cut it, I
And
just
he's
want to
cool?
see where it goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves it, right?
Oh, good.
And he's very laid back about that stuff. And then so I get a text from his dad because I'm gone. I'm leaving town.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna finish my weekend at Claremont Flappers and then get out. And I get it. His dad said he has head lice.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
go, oh, really? I go. There was
sure?
a notice like 2 weeks ago, and And
2 weeks ago.
but you know, from the school, like
Right.
lice is going around, right? And apparently because my son's hair was so big and tight,
They couldn't.
they didn't escape. And so, I mean, I didn't have it, or my mom didn't have it, and
it never got out into the house.
it never got. I never
because it was
left.
happy in his hair.
Yes.
Did he have to get all of his hair cut?
Yes, pretty. He's like it was.
Yeah, like a buzz
He's
cut a
bald.
little
He
bit.
looks like
Yeah.
a cop now.
Oh.
you know, which I don't care for, but
Wow.
I love
it'll get
lice
him work.
always happens on his dad's watch. Now it might be because I'm not checking correctly, but I don't want to. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
It's gross.
It is gross. And I like that you blame yourself, though, and you don't say, well, clearly there's lice at his dad's house. No, it's my
No, 'cause
fault
I
because
guess
I'm
they
not
were-
checking.
He said because they were families. It was like they'd had time to reproduce, so they'd been there for a while.
They had built condos.
Yes.
There were pools. I see.
Yeah, they were actually the Sears lady was inside my son's head trying to sell
Right, with
the
a
lice
3-wing
of-
binder. Are you going up this next week? You got sets?
Yeah, I'm at.
You're back at Conan.
I'm doing. I'm doing. Well, this will be. I will have done Jen Kirkman's show at the Improv, which is apparently sold out already. The 8 o'clock
Already?
show and
Woohoo!
stuff at Flappers and some other places. How about you?
Working around. Well, I'm going to San Francisco and then I come back.
Oh yeah, right.
And then we'll record another one. That'll be great.
Yeah, you'll be fresh off a 9 to 10 hour drive.
Right. Which
That's my favorite Jackie.
Oh, that's good times. I'm psyched about. It's so funny because of the
Is Andy
moms.
going with you?
No.
Okay,
No, he's got playtesting. He's got games to play.
sure.
He's got a life to lead. No, I'm driving up on Saturday, and I'm mostly staying in San Francisco.
Where?
Just some Hilton.
Are you?
I'm getting
you're paying
points.
for a hotel?
Yeah, I got a deal.
Wow.
I got points.
Well, what do you mean? Did you use the points to get?
No, I got a deal because I'm a Hilton member,
Oh,
and then I'm going to get points for it. And then it's Marilyn Bamford lives, and she Marilyn Bamford is like, you have to join the Hilton Honors Points thing, and I'm like, do I? Then what happens? And she's
so
like,
it's really worth it.
yeah. I mean, if eventually, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, so far I'm just
When you go out with Maria, do you guys always stay at Hilton?
We always stay at Hilton. And I just started, the last time I was out with her, I was like, hey, you always get the points, which makes sense because you pay for the hotels. And she goes, you're not getting the points on your room? And I said, no. And she said, oh, you should totally get the points on your room. You get the frequent flyer miles on your flights. And I was like, you're a good friend.
She's the best friend.
I would like those points.
I would totally fucking seize those points from you in a second. A heartbeat.
She opened for Louis C.K. last night.
Wow.
Yeah, she said she got to do 8 minutes. And I was like,
Seriously?
You didn't. Yeah, I don't know. He must have had several people. I don't know where it was,
okay.
but she was like,
Was it at the Nokia?
probably. It was probably at one of
Yeah.
those big theaters, right?
Yeah.
And sadly, I'm not the best friend because I didn't ask. I talked to her today, and all I wanted to tell her was the new bit that I'm working on. And I forgot to ask her about how it went, but I did know that she was like, "Yeah, it's." She said, "I'm thinking of either asking Scott to just drive me and drop me off, or taking an Uber,
Yeah.
so that she didn't have to park."
Oh yeah.
It seemed like I was like, "Do it, live the life, and until it doesn't work anymore."
I'd love to one day be traveling enough where I have a preferred hotel instead of whatever is on Airbnb.
Right. Well, that whole I stayed Airbnb in New York for 3 weeks one time.
Yeah.
And it was, eventually it became, and
In
I was
Manhattan?
in Manhattan,
Okay.
like right off of Union Square. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It was incredibly central
Yeah.
it was the last week of January, first 2 weeks of February.
Yeah.
So it was super cold.
Yeah.
And I was
But
doing
you're near 18 trains. That's great.
right. I was right there, and I could do whatever I wanted. I can mostly anyway because I'm an adult.
yeah. You know what? All right, rub it in. I'll never forget my Thanksgiving 2016.
Exactly, your 2016 Thanksgiving, the best day of the year. So, I saw this. Did you see these two British women with the song that I posted on Facebook that I have no
Nuh-uh.
information about except for they sang a song about how 2016 blows.
Yeah.
And I was reminded of the British word for pussy, which is quim.
Quim. Quim.
Yep.
Oh,
And I was
like
thinking,
that.
I like it better than pussy to some
Oh, I
extent.
don't like pussy. Too many S's.
A lot of S's, not, and quim has kind of a hard K in the beginning.
Yes.
I'm thinking of doing quim at the end of the tantric sex joke instead of pussy. Or is it
so
too
you're gonna no, you just do a bit about Quim beforehand, and then it's a fucking callback laugh, bitch.
Boom.
Come on.
Come on. Or just leave it with cauldron. I might just, I'm also referring to my pussy as a cauldron.
Yeah, that you don't have to explain.
My vagina. My.
Kyle, how long?
Oh, you're at, oh, wait. 59 and 6 seconds.
Oh my god.
Labia majora, labia minora. I'm calling it. I just wanted to get the real
Wow,
words out.
somebody Wikipedia'd her vagina today.
Hey, let me tell you something about this Ari Shafir story that I got on. It talks about how when I learned about sex. When I learned about sex, it was Nancy Cation, my stepmother.
Yeah.
I'm almost 8 years old, and she's like, "We're gonna have the talk." And me and my sister, Darla's probably pushing 10. I'm 8, and she gets the World Book Encyclopedia out. Remember, I don't know if you had the encyclopedias with the flimsies that would stack on top of each other and show the human body, bones, muscles,
Oh, neat.
blood veins, and it was all see-through plastic flimsies.
Yeah.
And you would stack them on top of each other, and it would be a person. There was one for women, there was one for a man, and Nancy Cation went through a very clinical, too early for this one, about how it was all done.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "That's sex. There you go. Good night." And but that was the only time anyone ever mentioned sex when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think my mom had one talk in the kitchen where she just told me a man puts his penis in a woman's vagina. And I was trying to visualize it, and I thought they were standing, and I'm like, I don't understand. And that was it. That was it. No one
That was the
ever.
whole thing.
That was, yeah.
Oh, the other thing I remember is being like 15 or 16, and I asked what oral sex was, and Nancy would not stop laughing. And then my sister walked in, and she said to Darla, she goes, "Jackie just asked what oral sex was," and then they both laughed at me. I got no information.
What I learned from a Queen album. So please.
I learned from a gentleman who was more than willing to explain it to me.
All right, let's pack up our shit and leave.
Do you think? Are we is it happening?
Yes.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.